see how to look at multiple rounds and really analyze our performance with the Analysis section. First, tap Analyze to bring up your profile. You can add friends to share your golf data by hitting the plus button and adding them via the email they used to start their account. You can also tap the Demo button in the top right to add my account as a demo. This will allow you to see what the stats look like before you have rounds of your own to dive into. Let's tap our profile. First off, your performance is compared to the reference you chose when you started your account. If you ever want to change that reference, you can do so by hitting the menu button in the top right. Select Reference and change it to the desired target. We recommend you set your reference to the next step in your golfing journey. For example, if you're trying to break 80 for the first time, you should set your sights on a 5 handicap. I'm a 2 handicap, so I'll set mine to scratch. You'll notice the strokes gained data immediately changes to the new reference. The top plot is a normalized version of strokes gained to show my strengths and weaknesses. The bars go in order from driving to approach to short and then putting. You can see that I have a strong short game, but I need to work on putting and driving. This entire view is scrollable, and each button has real data on it for your golf game. Scoring shows your scoring percentages for birdies, bogeys, and so forth. Driving accuracy shows you which side you tend to miss. Shot distribution shows you where you tend to miss iron shots. You have average fairways and greens for an 18-hole round, even putting and proximity stats. Each of these tiles is a button that will take you to more in-depth stats on a particular subject. Let's start with the main tile for strokes gained. Tapping this button will bring up the strokes gained stacked plot. This is one of my favorites. Each bar represents a round that you have played. Each color represents a strokes gained category. Red is putting, green is approach, blue is driving, and yellow is short game. The black line represents the total when you add them all together. I like this plot because it shows you how your performance varies from day to day. You can see that the red for putting and green for approach are the areas of my game that fluctuate the most. That fluctuation represents inconsistency. All of our plots are interactive, meaning I can simply tap on a portion of the bar for details. The pop-up window will tell me which round I'm looking at, what area of the game I tapped on, and what the actual value is. There's also a button for review that will take me straight to the hole-by-hole version of the round if I want to get really deep. Now there are multiple plots behind each of the buttons on the previous screen, so I can simply swipe between them to see different breakdowns of my game. The next one shows me my performance in the 3 keys. The 3 keys are 3 putts, 2 chips, and penalties. 3 putts and penalties are straightforward. 2 chips are when you're inside 60 yards and it takes you more than 2 shots to get it on the green. Again, I can tap on any part of this plot for more details. For this plot, my goal is to keep shrinking these bars. I'm losing 3 to 6 shots per round for these big mistakes. I would be ecstatic if I could cut 3 to 6 shots. Now I can dive in to see if my penalties are a result of poor ball striking or decision making. For 3 putts, we'll look at putting charts later to see if I'm missing short ones or if I'm just not hitting it close enough. Next is the shot histogram. We cover this briefly in the round summary. This is a very similar plot, but now it has data from multiple rounds, so I can look at each distance bucket and see what type of shots I hit the most and where I need to practice. There are a few other plots in the strokes gained section that give high-level overviews of your game. I like to look at the strokes gained lines plot to see trends. The colors are the same as before, but now I can quickly see which ones are trending up and which ones are getting worse. This allows me to focus my practice on the areas that need attention. In this case, my putting and approach games tend to be trending upwards, while my driving is trending in the wrong direction. We can hit the profile button to return to the main screen. I mentioned that I was improving in putting, but also that it is a weakness for me. Let's dive into putting next. The first plot shows me a quick breakdown of my strokes gained putting performance. You can see that I've been putting in work and my performance is improving. Tapping on any of the points of the line will give me details of which round the data is from and the details on the actual strokes gained putting value. Swiping to the left brings up the putts by distance plot. We see a snapshot of this in the round summary, but this is the full details. Again, each bar represents a different distance from the hole. Green represents 1 putts, navy represents 2 putts, and red represents 3 putts or more. we want to avoid red. The bars measure what percentage of the time you have that many putts from that distance, with the percentage on the left axis. Tapping on any part of the bars will bring up the details and clarify if there is any confusion. The lighter blue line that is overlaid represents my strokes gained performance in each bucket. The strokes gained is shown on the right axis. For me, I lose strokes in the middle distances from 3 to 15 feet, but I start performing better for lag putts. I need to spend some time on my mid-range putting. Swiping to the left again, you can see some more traditional putting metrics, such as number of putts taken and feet of putts made. The next plot has putts per hole and putts per gur. While these stats are interesting, strokes gained in the putts per distance plots are much better indicators of putting performance. By now you've probably noticed the filter button in the bottom right. You can use this to filter in or out more rounds. We've been looking at just 4 rounds of data, as that's what yours will look like at first, but you can expand this to include as many rounds as your phone can process. Now if you look at my strokes gained putting, you'll see the inconsistency I was talking about. I have good and bad performances. Part of this is because I play many different golf courses and don't really have a chance to learn the greens. Part of it is, I just need to practice. Let's return to the main screen. Now we have all the stats you might need to learn what to work on, but let's take a look at something a little more fun. Personal bests. Since we track every shot that you hit, we can give you fun stats for things like how many holes you've played, how many shots you've hit, what's your longest drive or longest hole out, most holes in a row without a 3-putt, and many more. Basically, any fun stat that you've heard while watching PGA Tour telecasts, we can give you on your golf game. This is a fun way to challenge friends or to motivate yourself in times when you're struggling.